Yo, what's cracking everyone? Ericship 111 here. So, update 5 for Forza Motorsport is out. I'm sure many of you have watched Forza's latest overview video showcasing all of the new content that's being introduced in this particular update. But in today's video, I'm going to dive a little deeper into this update and also reveal why there are some bad news with Forza Motorsport's update 5. So let's begin with the new track, the return of Nordschleife, perhaps the most highly anticipated track that many Forza Motorsport players were looking forward to racing when the game was announced. However, according to Turn 10, the Nordschleife wouldn't be ready at launch and was scheduled to release later sometime in spring, which was a huge disappointment to hear, because Nordschleife is such an iconic track and really offers a racing experience like no other tracks can deliver. Which was why when Turn 10 teased that this would actually be the new track for Update 5 was a bit of a shock, only because generally speaking when it comes to delivering new content and bug fixes, Turn 10 they're always behind, almost like they're playing catch up with all of the mistakes they've made with their game thus far. So to see the Nürburgring being introduced ahead of schedule is certainly a nice surprise. Honestly, driving around this track with different cars is all I've been doing since this update has gone live. The track, visually speaking, has certainly had a huge makeover. It definitely drives a lot differently and much better too with the new tyre physics compared to Motorsport 7, and the track, at least in my opinion, and I could be wrong here, feels narrower too. But there are some bad news with the Nordschleife coming early. Firstly, as written on their latest blog over on their official website, this track will not be available in any featured multiplayer races, which I do understand to an extent. Since this track is incredibly long, it may be difficult to include it into the current track rotation given how the featured multiplayer races have been set up, but to me that's something Turn 10 could have easily compromised with, perhaps including a 24/7 Nordschleife series with the appropriate tyre wear and race countdown timers to suit the extra long track would have been a nice option. I don't know, it just kind of seems like Turn 10 threw the Nordschleife in early to perhaps give Motorsport the extra life it desperately needed and just went, we'll figure out how to include this in featured multiplayer later. But there's even more unfortunate news. With the Nordschleife being introduced ahead of schedule, this means that for Update 6, we aren't going to get a new track. Again, over on Forza's official blog post, the reason that there won't be a new track next month is because of the new changes in car progression being implemented, which they were recently talking about. Now, I don't know how the teams are delegated over at Turn 10. I heard that the people who work on the game's bugs and glitches are completely separate from those who deliver content for the game. If that's the case, then why should players not get a new track for Update 6? Rehauling the entire car progression system, as great as that is, offering the flexibility in how you can level up and upgrade your cars, was really something that Turn 10 brought onto themselves. We already knew that this car progression system wouldn't have worked before launch, and if Turn 10 had tested their own game thoroughly during development, they would have also known that it wouldn't have worked either. And now what, because they're fixing it, it's going to slot in as new content for a monthly update. I don't agree with that. Fixes or changes to the game should really be rolled out once it's ready, or at least not be replaced with monthly content that was scheduled to be delivered. And not only that, what precedence does this set for future updates? Oh, we fixed the dreadful AI in the game now, no new tracks this month, or the Forza race regulations has been updated and it's going to be huge where there won't be any outrageous penalties handed out anymore, and just for that, no new cars for this month. I mean, the game already launched with, let's be honest, very minimal content with a lot of recycled stuff coming back on a monthly basis, and hearing this is very disappointing. Had Turn 10 actually launched a proper car progression system and not try to evoke cheap and uninspiring tactics to keep players engaged with the game, we would have definitely gotten a new track for Update 6. Now, moving on to something that was unfortunately not Turn 10's fault. So, over on Forza's official X account, a post was made that reads, The 2015 Ferrari 488 GTB body kit modification has been removed from Forza Motorsport. Players who already had the upgrade installed will see the kit updated with stock parts. As a gesture of goodwill, all players have been gifted the 2020 Acura ARX 05 race car via the message center. And at first when I read this, I was like, I'm pretty sure the 488 GTB didn't have a real wide body kit option other than the generic Forza design ones, which would have been incredibly weird to remove. So I decided to check if it was the 488 Pista, and it turns out that the Forza design wide body kit upgrade is still present. So through the process of elimination, the last car I looked at was the Ferrari 458 Italia, and sadly the Liberty Walk body kit has been removed. But before anything else, Forza, how about tweeting out the correct car first? That would be nice. And secondly, this removal of the Liberty Walk body kit for the 458 is very interesting. We weren't given an explanation as to why. Was Ferrari not happy at all? I mean, we as racing gamers know how Ferrari are with their cars being modified, but if that's the case, then wouldn't the wide body kit for the 488 Pista get removed too? Maybe Ferrari doesn't like what Liberty Walk did to their 458, and perhaps they don't want it promoted. Who knows? Not Turn 10's fault here, but what do you guys think? And lastly, let's talk about the 2022 Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS, the reward car for completing the Ringer Tour. Now, for those that do play Forza Horizon 5, will know that this car was introduced into the game back in October of 2023 as part of a paid car pack. Now, as cool as the car is, unfortunately, the car model did receive some inaccuracies. The front bumper was modeled incorrectly, more specifically the side canards, if that's what it's called. But it looks like it was modeled from the 2020 GT4 RS as opposed to the 22 model. But recently, Playground Games have updated it, and now the 2022 GT4 RS does have the accurate front bumper. However, it seems as though the outdated car model has made its way into Forza Motorsport. I know it's a small detail, but it reflects on everything else that Turn 10 does. Hopefully, we do see the updated model with the correct front bumper soon. Overall, with the introduction of the Nordschleife for Update 5, it's certainly given the game a bit more life, at least for me, as I absolutely love doing time trials on this track. But as I've said in many of my previous videos, this game still has a long way to go before it reaches the standard that many Forza Motorsport fans had actually hoped for. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about Update 5. What do you guys think about Nordschleife? Has it been built from the ground up? Share us your thoughts down in the comment section below, as I do read all of your comments, guys. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button, as it really does help me out. And of course, if you guys would like to stay up to date with everything Forza related, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.